soup. You can now tell I've been on TikTok too much. Hey y'all, I'm Madeline Monahan, but you can call me Maddie. Welcome back to my channel, and I'm once again outside because A, it's a beautiful day, and B, my husband is on a meeting and I do not want to interrupt. So I am outside, hopefully where he cannot hear me, but all my neighbors can, but that's okay. They're just gonna have to deal with the crazy lady who talks to herself. So it is a sweet tea kind of a day. It is also just a sit down and chat kind of a day, so that's what I'm gonna be doing. And today I'm gonna kind of be going off a little bit about what I talked about in the last few minutes of my previous video, which was my novel ideas or my story ideas. And I have done a all my novel ideas video before. Some of those projects I have kept, some of them I have not. This video is gonna be a little bit more, maybe not condensed, but a little bit shorter, because I want to talk about a little bit more in depth about the projects that I am mainly going to be focusing on, which are the 4 that I mentioned in my last video. The first novel that I am going to be putting my time and effort back into, of course, is my Hades Persephone. I have spent too much time away from that. I need to get back into it. I need to bring those characters back to life, and I need to just get the ball rolling on that. I'm on draft 3 or 4, I can't even remember at this point, because I actually had to redo a lot of it. And I'm afraid too that the more I'm redoing it, the stronger Persephone is getting, but the weaker my other characters are getting. So I need to try and figure out where that happy medium is between a strong Persephone but also equally strong side characters. Hades is fine. Hades is still my sweet dark cinnamon roll and I love him to pieces, but all my other characters are still sort of like, okay, this isn't quite what I wanted for you, or that's not what I quite wanted for you, and you know, I do want this conflict, but I don't know if I want it to be that strong, and vice versa, and things like that. So that's been tricky. Just getting back into that, and I think I just need to go back and honestly reread the original myth and reread the other myths that Persephone appears in, as well as Hades, just so that I feel I'm not going too far off the tracks. I'm not steering too far away from who they are, you know, because I do want it to be a little different. I do want them to have a little bit of a different personality, and you know, obviously there are some liberties I'm taking because certain original story themes are not going to be in it. I still want people who read it to be like, oh yeah, this is Hades, oh yeah, this is Persephone, I really hope that's not a train. I really want to keep them as true and as recognizable as I can, while still making these other changes about their lives or their stories. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's kind of a weird, when you're doing retellings, it is a weird bubble, I guess, to be in, or a weird mindset where it's like you want the characters to still feel like they are the characters that you originally fell in love with, but you don't want everything about their original story to be present. You want that change. So trying to find that happy medium has been a lot of fun. But that is what I've been working on, is just trying to figure out how to find that. And I've been thinking about replotting it too, like just sitting down and really writing out the story beats and being like, okay, this is how I want this to go. This is how I want it to be. Because right now I feel like I have an idea, I have a destination, but I have no idea how in the heck I'm getting there. So I'm wondering if I need to sit down and replot it. The second story, it's not a novel, but the second story that I really want to get back to working on is Project Outlaw. I thought I had come up with an actual name for it. I think it was Renegade, was it Renegade Ritter or something like that? I don't remember. It's been a while. My wonderful friend Autumn Ashley made me a beautiful fake cover for it. I love it so much. I still have it on my phone somewhere. I'll share it eventually, I promise. It's really cool, and it really sets the mood for it. For those of you who might not know or might not remember, Project Outlaw is about young woman who is, as the title would suggest, an outlaw, or at least a former outlaw, and she has seemingly escaped her past life, then finds out one day that actually no, it's catching up to her, and it's catching up to her quite quickly, and so it becomes this mad dash for her to get herself and her husband, who does not know who she is, to safety. This was a Western idea that came to mind. I don't even remember how. Like, I must have been watching something or thinking something, and I was just like, I think honestly I just was making up scenes. I don't even think I was watching anything. I was just in a Western mood, and I was making up scenes in my head, and I got one, and I was like, oh yes, that. And now it's become like this whole screenplay idea. I have it written out from beginning to end. I know what happens, and there's a lot of things in it that happen that I, as a writer, I'm kind of proud of, because there are a lot of things that I see, or I guess honestly it's actually a lot of things I don't see in movies, in books. I don't want to give too much away, because obviously there's spoilers, and this is not a spoiler corner, that's for another time. There's a lot of things that I've done with the characters, and I'm not trying to toot my own horn here, but there's a lot of things that I've done with the characters that have come out as a result of me personally wanting to see that happen. So me being disappointed in books and movies when I think, oh, this would be such a great twist, or oh, that would be such a great moment, or oh, that would be such a great character development, and then it doesn't happen. So I'm trying to bring some of those moments out in the screenplay, and hoping that I can create more realistic, more human characters, and not kind of just generic Old West, I'm John Wayne and I'm the good guy, and I'm another guy and I'm the bad guy kind of thing, you know, and this town ain't big enough for the two of us, which I think they only say that in one Western movie. Town is big enough, y'all. And there is a bug with a stinger who's very interested in my tea. The third story idea is one that I have not talked about before, but am very excited to talk about, because this was something that came to mind a long time ago, and I'm only just now really getting to the part where I have like written it out and everything. I haven't even really written it out yet. I typed it real quick on a Google Docs on my phone one night. The idea of this story came from a writing prompt, actually, and I don't remember where the writing prompt was, but I was like, that is a good idea. And so this is not one that it just like came to me out of nowhere. This was an actual like prompt, and I was like, oh, that would be a fun story to write. The story is that a young man, I'm making him a lawyer because criminology, law. So a young lawyer finds himself the legal guardian of his baby niece after the death of his brother. The mother is out of the picture. She's been out of the picture pretty much since the kid was born. She just gave birth and left. He's been made legal guardian, and he's very overwhelmed by everything. He's not only got his job, but he's also just lost his brother, and now he has to take care of his brother's baby, and I think there's a train coming, so let me speed this description up a little quickly. He eventually talks to a friend about it, and a friend recommends, oh, I have another friend from college who wants to be a live-in nanny, and I don't think I have time before the train comes in to finish this. I'm just gonna keep talking, and I apologize for the train in the background. So the lawyer asks this young woman to be a live-in nanny, and together they like take care of the kid, and it's kind of just like a cutesy little romance story, obviously. I mean, what did you think was gonna happen? Everything seems to be going well until the biological mom comes back into the picture, and then things get a little bit hairy. But that's where I'm gonna leave that, because that's really all I got. I'm really looking forward to writing that one, because it's different from a lot of other stories that I've ever written. I've never written anything that's been romance focused. Like, there's been things that I've written or have come up with that have romance in them, but it's not like the main theme. So it'll be interesting to give that a try. I'm excited for that one. The fourth idea that I have right now, is sort of a main idea, is another retelling. It's actually an Anastasia retelling, because I'm a sucker for Anastasia. I love Anastasia so much. I grew up on the animated movie. Sorry, the stingy bug is back. I grew up on the animated movie, and I love the let me just
huddle nervously as this thing flies around where my feet were.
I love the animated movie as well as the Broadway musical, and
Just freaking out because there's this thing flying around.
I really love both of them. I've always just loved the story of Anastasia. I've loved the kind of the legend behind it. I was thinking one day, like, oh, wouldn't it be cool to flip it around? To have, you know, instead of Vlad and Dimitri, who are con men, why not have con women? You know, why not do it like that? And then I was like, what about instead of a lost princess, it's a lost prince? What if instead of them both not really remembering anything, because I think in the movie Dimitri doesn't remember that she's Anastasia until like the very end, and Anastasia doesn't remember she's Anastasia until the very end. So I thought, well, what if you had it so one of them did remember? Like, what if you had it so the Dimitri character, who in this case would be one of the con women, what if she did remember him? And she knew exactly who he was. And so you would have that sort of dilemma where it's like you have one character who has no idea what's going on or who he is or where he came from, and another character who is desperate for this person to remember, especially remembering them. And so I was just kind of playing around with that idea, and I was actually at work and I had like a little notebook at work and I was just writing out the plot points, like different things to go over. And that's another one too where it's like I want it to still be in the realm of like the Anastasia story, not feel like I am completely stealing from it. I don't know. So one of the things that I was thinking about doing with that too is making it almost kind of like a sci-fi steampunk type thing. I was thinking leaning more towards like steampunk in terms of like clothes and technology, and I was thinking an airship would be really it'd be really flickin' cool. Also, I just love steampunk. I think steampunk is really, really neat. It's really flickin' cool. I really love the idea of doing, I guess technically it's a gender swapped Anastasia. I guess technically that's what that is. I don't know. I don't know. What do the kids call it these days? Those are all my current project ideas or projects that I'm working on or going to be working on. One of the fun things, and I was actually kind of saving this to the end because this is going to be a whole flippin' series. One of the things that I am going to attempt to be doing with one of these projects, particularly, I guess I should say specifically, not particularly, specifically, I am going to try handwriting the romance story, at least the first draft. So I'm going to handwrite the plot, like plotting it out, and then I'm going to try and write the whole book by hand. I have said that, now I have to do it, and I have to hold myself accountable for it. So that is what we're going to do on that. That'll be a fun experiment. Yep, experiment. Yeah, because those always go well. Thank you all so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you are excited to see where my projects go ahead and hit that subscribe button and ring that bell so that you're notified every time I upload another funny video. Honestly, the next one is probably going to be me struggling just trying to handwrite the plot of the romance novel, but we'll see. Let me know in the comments down below which project you're most excited to see, which one you would like to hear more about, or if you just want to talk about anything and everything. That's what the comments are for. Keep on writing, and I'll see y'all in the next video.